You all know the target.
Hey guys, it's Hype Train here, this time with another video on Final Fantasy XVI. Square Enix has shown off 25 minutes of new gameplay footage at the Sony State of Play event on April 13th, 2023. In this video, I'm going to talk about the top highlights of all the new details shown during the State of Play event. So with that said, let's just jump right into it. First, I want to talk about my overall impressions of the new gameplay footage in terms of graphics and performance. Square Enix showed off a wide variety of environments, and these include towns, dungeon type areas, caves, forests, deserts, and tropical type areas. The backdrops and scenery are all very detailed, and I really like the desert area with the big waterfall in the backdrop. For those who are complaining that the last gameplay footage of Final Fantasy XVI was too dark, this new gameplay footage showed off the different environments with more color and brighter lighting. This is a good indicator that only a few of the areas in the game are going to be dark. Performance-wise, the game seems to run at a very smooth 60 frames per second. Even with a lot of action during the combat and a lot of special effects on screen. Load time seems to be lightning quick as the game takes advantage of the SSDs in the PlayStation 5. In terms of storyline, Square Enix emphasized that you don't need to play any of the other Final Fantasy games before Final Fantasy XVI. The main character you play as is Clive Rosfield, who is the shield of the Grand Duchy of Rosaria. You get to experience 3 different periods of Clive's life, including his teenage years, his 20s, and his 30s. The storyline will begin with Clive in his 20s, but there will be playable flashbacks to his teenage years. Clive is supposed to protect his younger brother Joshua, who is the dominant of Phoenix, but in the trailer, something seems to go wrong, and we'll have to wait and see exactly how the events unfolded when the game releases. In terms of combat, Square Enix emphasized that the game is all action combat and that there is no turn-based combat at all. New details include gameplay of Jill, who is an AI-controlled teammate. Jill is the dominant of Shiva, and she seems to have a lot of fencing type attacks. She also seems to have a lot of ice-based magic. I would have loved to play as her, as she seems to have a cool combat style, so it's a shame that the only character you can control is Clive. Square Enix also emphasized that each icon you have equipped will determine what abilities you can use, and you can switch between 3 equipped icons on the fly to use abilities and create complex combos. You can think of the icons as stances you can switch to. Each icon also changes the sword that Clive uses and the attacks of the sword. It is not known yet if this is just a visual effect, or there are actual differences in the gameplay where each icon gives Clive an actual different moveset. A map of the world was shown. As you progress through the game, more icons and locations will be shown on the map. The map can be opened at any time and you can fast travel. The map will also help you track quests as well. Chocobos appear in this game as mounts you can use to help you travel through the environments. After getting to a certain point in the game, Clive will gain access to Cid's Hideaway. This is a main hub area where you can buy and sell items, upgrade your gear, or talk to NPCs. At Karen's Toll, you can buy and sell gear and consumable items. At the Black Hammer, you can use materials to upgrade gear or craft new gear. The Arata Stone is where you can access training and arcade mode, and these are modes where you can practice your combos on certain enemies. You can accept side quests at this hideout, or talk to NPCs to get more information on the main quests.
Not only will players discover a variety of side quests here, but they can also view information on quests offered all around Valisthea to gain information on elite marks.
You can talk to the Moogle to accept hunts on big monsters, kind of like in Final Fantasy XII and XV. You can talk to Harpocrates to unlock tome entries, which help you learn more about the lore of the world. Vivian Ninetails will explain the politics and current events going on in the world.
There are all kinds of interactions and features in the Hideaway to help players get even more enjoyment out of their time with Final Fantasy XVI.
Here you can see the screen where you can equip gear and icons as well as see your attributes. There seems to be a slot for a weapon, a belt, and a bracer, and then there are 3 slots for accessories. Here's the screen where you can spend ability points to upgrade existing abilities or unlock new ones. Upgrades can add new effects to current skills as well as make them stronger. The upgrade screen is big and there are all sorts of abilities you can upgrade, such as icon abilities, new attacks and combos, and even buffs. You can also press a button to allow the game to spend your ability points for you. It also seems you can reset your ability points at any time. Here you can see combat footage from a couple of big boss battles. There's lots of cool sequences in these fights. The enemies include Morble, who seems to be some sort of monster with a lot of tentacles, the Knight of the Binding Dragon, Fafnir, Midnight Raven, who seems to be some sort of assassin type character, Hugo, who is the dominant of Titan, the Akashic Dragon, which seems to be some sort of dragon that uses ice magic, the Control Node, and the Arum Giant, which are constructs from an ancient civilization, the Liquid Flame, which is the fire boss that turns into many forms, and Barnabas. There's definitely a wide variety of boss fights in this game, so for those that like challenging boss fights in action games, they won't be disappointed.
Clash with the dominants who wield the power of the Eikons. Colossal beasts who hold the surrounding lands under their sway. Mysterious constructs of the fallen, a civilization shrouded in mystery.
So the Icon versus Icon battles are going to be a big highlights of this game. Here you can see Clive turn into the Phoenix Icon, fight against the Icon of Fire, and Bahamut. In the Phoenix form, the game turns into an on-rails shooter, much like the Panzer Dragoon series. You can even fire off homing projectiles and do barrel rolls. This is the first time this type of gameplay is in a Final Fantasy game, So it's really cool to see set pieces like this. Here you can see more footage of Clive using the Ifrit Eikon to fight against Bahamut, Titan, and Typhon. One thing to note is that Ifrit seems much more faster and more agile than the last gameplay footage where Ifrit was fighting against Garuda. It seems like these fights are in later parts of the game, where Clive gets more used to fighting in the Ifrit form. Another highlight is the Ifrit versus Titan Lost battle. This part of the gameplay looks like a set-piece boss battle from God of War. And this is not surprising since Yoshi P himself said that a lot of the inspiration for FF16 came from the PS5 God of War. The boss fight is a lot of cinematic set pieces and on-rail segments. It's just completely over the top and just insane, and I love it. That's it for all the details coming from the State of Play event. There's definitely a lot of new elements shown off for the game, with many people already saying that the game is Game of the Year material. So Final Fantasy XVI is set to release June 22nd, 2023 for the PS5. Square Enix announced that the game has gone gold, which means that the game is pretty much complete and they're just taking their time to polish the game. So if you like this video, please click on the like and subscribe button. It helps out my channel, and I also put out more content such as this video. My name is Hype Train. I'm signing out, and I'll see you next time.